lucky you get to get a twofer. Because I feel like I just feel like doing it. I want to complete the western half of this map. So, I will continue today with the western portion of Terra until we are done. We're going to do the eastern coast and some of the islands found in between the western continent and the middle continent. So, where should we start? Should we start up at the top? Yes. I'm going to flip it around because now it looks upside down to you, but it looks right side up to me. We are currently right here with a series of islands located around here. We will talk about what exactly they are. But first, we're going to continue defining our coastlines. I'm going to move inwards now. Inwards, and inwards, and then back out again, back in, out, down, make a little peninsular area, and then down, and there we go. It's as simple as that. This is what the western continent of Lure looks like. Now, story-wise, lore-wise, this was the first lands conquered by the Dragoon Empire long ago. Naturally, they would start from here and move southwards. So, this entire continent used to be conquered by the Dragoon Empire, and this little area used to be ruled by the Solari Eldari. Even before the Dragoon Empire, so even longer before still. So there's a lot of history here. And due to the culture of the Dragoon Empire and their influence over long periods of time, the Lure Kingdom and the empires that would soon sprout from this place in the coming centuries after Season 1 are all taken of an influence of the Dragoon Empire. In fact, one of the cities that the Dragoon Empire has founded still technically stands. We're going to talk about that one right now. Let's just see if I can remember where I've put it. I believe I placed it right here. Here. In this little spot, let's make a little tiny little house icon. Maybe a bigger house icon, since it's a bigger city. This is Tiam. Tiam, short for Tiamat, the legendary mythical creature, And the Dragoon Empire, there's a dragon that once roosted in this area long ago. And they named this dragon Tiamat. And Tiamat was a massive silver creature that, when slain during the Dragoon Empire Wars, his corpse fell in this region that then turned to stone. So they say, at least. And this statue, this massive dragon statue, still stands in Tiam today. That's the namesake for which this city was made. This is the second largest city, not the capital, but it is the old capital of the old world. Tiam has a lot of history, but currently it is under the Lure Kingdom's lordship, and would eventually become under the Lagaris Empire lordship. But currently we are on the Lure Kingdom of Season 1, so Lure Kingdom is roughly the everything from the last Legion's Gate all the way up to the Shield Coast here. Everything here is the Lure Kingdom. It's massive. It is a massive land, and everything is united for, conveniently, ever since the Dragoon Empire conquered the entire land. It has remained united ever since, even though the Dragoon Empire is long gone. The peoples here now had a means of communicating with one another from all over the lands. They decided they didn't hate each other, so they might as well remain united. And then the kingdoms of the Lure would form long after that, and then the Lagaris Empire after that. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. We've got some mountain ranges to define. We got a little bit over here, some mountain ranges on the side. There's a dwarven settlement right around here. Right here. I believe this is where I've set, trying to find the name. I know I have 3 major dwarven kingdoms. I know one is in the middle, Klinkgrad's over here. I believe it might be, Stalingrad. Stalingrad, that's it, yeah. Stolingrad. Stalingrad. Stalingrad is the southern dwarven kingdom of the western continent. There's 3 located here. There's one here, there's one up here we'll talk about in a minute, and then there's Klinkgrad over here in the middle continent, which we will talk about in the future installments. Stalingrad has no relevant story for Season 1, so you're not going to get too much spoiling there. Just know that that's where they're located, and, well, actually, there is some lore there, I guess. Setchel has spent plenty of time in the western continent. In his past, after the fall of Rakam, he would come to Stalingrad and join the dwarves in their, purgings of their old kingdoms, their old, dwellings in these mountains up here, and in these lower mountains here. He basically helped them unite all of the western coastline mountains, since Stalingrad used to run their ancient kingdoms. They have an old kingdom here, they have an old settlement here, they have a colony out here, then they have one up here. Setchel helped them clear out all of the dark creatures of the mountains, since they like to hang out in the dark places as well as the dwarves. So he helped them out there, and he helped them out with some infighting, some civil wars amongst the dwarves and the people of Lure. He's been all over the place. Lure has a colorful history to which I could spend a lot of time talking about, but I'm trying to just be skimming. We're going to be skimming the most skimsome on this map here, because we don't want to give too much away, just enough to get you interested. Now we have another big mountain range over here. Big here. It's one of the larger ones. It's all along this north part. Up here in the northeast is a large mountain range, to which we have another dwarven kingdom located with an entrance right around here. And let's see which one. Klinkgrad was over here. What was the name placeholder I gave it? Since I don't really have too much story here, I only have a placeholder name. Let me try to remember what it was. Reichgrad. It might be Reichgrad. Let's do Reichgrad. Reichgrad. The R sounds like an L, right? Reichgrad is right up here. This is the northern dwarven kingdom. These two aren't necessarily too fond of each other. That's why they formed their own kingdoms a little far away. Now, a long time ago, these two clans used to be one clan, and they used to roam and rule. A long time ago, there used to be a mountain range up here at the top, and now all that's left is just the shield coast of the high coastline. But a long time ago, even before the Dragoon Empire, there used to be a northern mountain range here, connecting these two mountain ranges, here and here. And at that point, these two clans used to be a single clan, and they've forgotten their old ties. They just now know that they hate each other. So we spend most of the time here because these guys are nice guys. These guys are nice guys. Let's do them, Glad. But I like Glad. These guys just prefer to hang by themselves. But there is one place here, up here, that is allied with Lightglad, who are isolationist, and that is the city-state of Kerak. This is where Magnus, where the clan leader of Magnus hangs out. This Karak. Up here, hidden, tucked away in the mountains, surrounded by the Shield Coast. Here, very hard to get to. Tempest could get here by air, and they are trade partners there, due to the dragon fondness there. And Magnus is allied with Lure, with Lightgrad, and with Tempest. So he's keeping up friendly ties with his neighbors to make sure that whatever happened to the previous 4 city-states of the other 4 clans of the Immortals does not happen to his city-state. Now, Karak is the strongest of the 5. That's why it's the last one standing, and it's going to stand for quite a while. Magnus is an interesting boyo. He has the soul of what was their name for it? Well, the humans would call him just he's able to transform to a dragon. The humans would just say that. So we're going to keep it the human words. We're going to keep it human words because when I get to my appendices, when you read those books, you'll find the other languages there. But the humans would call him capable of turning into a dragon. So he's a normal humanoid form, and then he can transform into a dragon boy. It's something that the Tempestians here are very, it's part of their culture, so that's why they are very allied with Magnus. They are very friends with Magnus. And of course, the people of Tiam, their culture surrounding the Tiamat dragon, they are friends as well. And there is another person who is much like Magnus living down here, the dark places here. These two are kind of like villains. They are like 2 sides of a coin. And one day we may see something about that, but it's not going to happen in Season 1, but it's something hinting, hidden in the futures, whatever. Now we have another little landmass off the coast of the Dark Continent, the Dark Lands, which would be roughly in between middle and middle and west, so let me just go ahead and draw it. Here. Down, and there. This is Tutelu. The Tutelan little island here. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's not as big as the Dark Lands here, but if you consider all the mountain ranges and stuff, the flatter lands in the middle, it's about the same size. So, if you don't count the non-citizens. So, Tutelu is the home of the Tutelans. The Tutelans are an ancient and most mysterious race of peoples. And we are not sure if they're human, we're not sure if they're trolls, we're not sure if they're orcs, we're not sure if they're goblins, we're not sure if they're elves, we're not sure of anything about them, really. Nobody out here, except for maybe the ancient ones, and maybe Aleph, who, even Aleph is kind of confused about them sometimes. The Tutelans pride themselves in being mysterious and being incapable of knowing. And throughout the long history of Tutelu, nobody has ever thought or desired to conquer them, for to conquer them would mean they would have to deal with them constantly, and nobody wants to deal with them. There's no thing in the rise of resources so as other people think. The Tutelans pride themselves in illusions and mysteries and hypnotizings and hypnotisms and all sorts of other strange, trollish little spells and mells and wells, which means that Tutelu remains the one place on Terra that not even I am capable of penetrating and trying to figure out, because I have intentionally made them very mysterious, even to me. They're in the capital city. They have 3 main little cities here. The North Post Point here, this is their port city of Telus. Telus. The port city of Telus is where, if you ever thought to desire to come here, this is where you would. Telus is surrounded on almost all sides by mountains. So, really, even if you tried to conquer Talos, you would have a hard time trying to get across the mountains. And, though the mountains may not actually exist. Though they do. They don't at the same time. Because apparently the Tutellans can walk right through the mountains, because they might not actually be there. But if you tried to walk up to the mountains, they'd be physical and obstacle-ish, and you couldn't go through them! Tutelo is fantastic. I love this place. It is hilariously irritating. And I've done that on purpose. I've done it on purpose. It's a fantastic little island that I intentionally spend very little time on, because the point of Tutelo is to be mysterious. The other two, their mysterious capital here that only Aleph has ever been to. And then there's another one here, which is home to the religious sect of the Tutellans, to which nobody has ever been to. Not even Aleph. Their mysterious religion is quite strange, though a member that you have met in the previous 3 books, the Noctitath trilogy, one of the people in that book, those books, the mysterious figure, one of the mysterious figures, and I will give you a hint that Aleph has spoken with him. That figure is part of the Tutellan pantheon, and they call him the Interloper. There is a shrine to the Interloper here, and the Interloper has actually been to this hidden city here. So, it's a pretty interesting place. Let's see, do I have any other islands before we can finally close out of Western Terra for good? I said I would talk about these islands here. There's another larger one over here, and I should talk about the port city here. This is the Reach, this little port city right here. So let's try to... Oh, Batman fell down. This is the Reach. The Reach port is the connecting port connecting Middle Terra and Western Terra, the two continents. And let me see, do I have it? I believe that's right here. Let's just give it a hint of a defining boundary right there. Alright. So the main 2 ports are right here. This is part of Middle Terra, and here's the part of West Terra. These 2 parts are mainly the ferry in between, but also from here, also from down the coastlines around Middle Terra here. But sometimes if they want to get to the stuff over here, they would leave through the Sherpa Trading Emporium. They would leave through this little island right here. They would come out, go up here, over here, or through here, and out in here. It's very hard to get over here. Very hard to get over here. You would actually have to cross here, or sail all the way around Middle Terra. But it's kind of hard to figure out where everything is, since I haven't actually drawn the side yet. But there's the Reach. The Reach is a intercultural, cosmopolitan port city where everybody from everywhere has been. It is the most cosmopolitan city in the Lure Kingdoms outside of the capital, which is located right here. The capital is called Gadis. G-A-D-I-S. And it is from Gadis that the Lagaris Empire that would form after Lure falls is formed. Is formed. The main capital is also where you would have your trading hubs with Tempest. So there's a lot of Tempest goods here coming from this trade road here. And there's also a road leading from Gadis to Tiam. And there's a road from Gadis here leading to the Reach. These main roads are fairly well defined. They are fairly well established and patrolled. So they're very safe for travelers. There is also something going here leading to Heitgrad. There is a small village here, to which I'm not going to bother naming yet for right now. There's a bunch of smaller settlements. I'm only going to talk about the major ones, right? There's only the major ones that I'm going to talk about. There's a bunch of smaller settlements, small villages. But why should I talk about those when we haven't really, you know... And then there's one small little area here. There's a smaller village city here. We're not going to talk too much about it. I'm just going to point it out. And there is a path, trading road, trading post leading up here. And then there's a road leading down here through the mountains into the Sherpa Trading Emporium. This is all of the major highways of the Lower Kingdom. There's no real path leading to Kerak, because that's the point. Though there is a beach coastline here, and there is a small little port that is connected with here. And you can take this road, which leads up to the mountains, and if you are a hiker, you can hike through those mountains and get to Kerak. And I doubt you'll be let in unless you're an immortal. Because Magnus isn't fond of people who are not immortals entering his fair city. Now let's talk about this place. This place is interesting. We don't really have a name for it, though what the humans call it is the arena. This is where the arena is. There are no laws here since it stands outside of Lur's jurisdiction. In this international waters, technically, this island hosts one of the biggest coliseums where anybody can go in to basically place your bets and fight. There's no slaves or anything like that. It's just warriors from all over the world can come to this place and fight. And you would get money for winning and all sorts of other prizes. People could place bets, people could sponsor you. You could rise to the top, you could be the champion, you can win all the monies. But it's basically like the Fight Club of Terra. That's where the arena is. And I believe we're done. So, yes. We are done. This is West Terra. We are complete here. We're finished. So, take a gander. Try to up the definition if you want. Let me see if I can turn on a light. Too glary. Too glary. Either way, that's what things look like right now. I'm pulling this all from my head. Do I have notes and other stuff about where other things could be, or whatever on the thumb drive somewhere? Yes, I do. I have more defined boundaries, more defined roads, and all this stuff. I'm just pulling all this from my head. I'm not, like, looking at any references or anything like that. I'm just pulling it out of my head as it looks right now in my head, but this is subject. This could be subject to change. This could be subject to evolving as we go along. But right now, this is the state of everything. So, there you go. This is part 3. We'll do part 4, starting the Middle Terra map. Be imaginative.